The world changes every day and people move to big cities to find new job, to live in better conditions. It's fine. It's supposed to be like this. And lately Baku has become one of these rapidly growing cities. New buildings, new materials, new infrastructure, everything changes. And these changes come with some challenges that I would like to talk about and how to overcome some of them. Baku is an old town. It's located on the Caspian Sea shore between Europe and Asia, which makes it more culturally diverse. It was the pivotal point for the Islamic Renaissance. Islamic Renaissance started in the 9th century. It was the phenomenon for the local science. Islamic architecture continued until the first oil boom. As soon as the first oil boom started, some oil millionaires uh, traveled a lot in Europe and starting doing here buildings similar to European ones. Actually, I don't think it was copy paste. They just tried to get European comfort in Baku. It is exactly what Dubai does lately. Millionaires building city from zero. As soon as Soviet Union started, it's not a secret that economical utilitarian approach was very important, and that's why constructivist architecture was the best way to solve this problem, to do standardized projects which are easy to build. Some government and public buildings, they did some exceptions. They used historical traditional elements for the facades. But for the usual buildings, they applied similar projects, let's say living spaces, which called mikrorayons, schools, hospitals, same projects in every city of Soviet Union. After collapse of the Soviet Union, people have finally got the freedom after 17 years. They started to demonstrate this by adding additional areas to their own apartments. They did it without any limits. They did it in their own way. I think it's more than just a self-expression. We can call this even contemporary art, installation maybe. Apartments finally have got the freedom from Soviet standards. I think this rapid change proves that Soviet standards were not perfect. At least they did not serve the purpose. Either part of population moved to the newly built buildings in the center, built after much of the Soviet Union, sadly without urbanistic norms and rules. Kind of construction still goes on, and it influenced bad to modern architecture of Baku. Lately, Baku has got some international projects. Most of them were done by well-known worldwide architects. Individually, they are all good. When standing next to them, they are awesome. But from the distance, sadly, they don't actually fit with the surrounding buildings. And what is the reason why this happens? Because all the new styles starts from zero. Islamic architecture started, no reference with the previous one, then stopped. European architecture started during first oil boom. We have got European buildings here. They also not related with the Islamic architecture. Then stopped, continued with Soviet architecture. And Soviet architecture was the constructivist architecture. So it stopped, then started mixed architecture, no sense architecture. And lately we have got modern buildings, modern architecture in Baku, also not related with the previous ones. That's the problem. No connection with surrounding buildings, with the buildings that mostly use local materials, such as limestone. This is limestone, main historical and main construction material, local material. We built everything with this material, It's very good for facades, for the buildings maximum 4-5 story buildings. It's good. And lately we do classic buildings by applying to this material. Sadly, for some local projects, even trying to do skyscrapes with this heavy stone, which is not easy to install, and lighting is huge waste of energy and resources. Lately, we use alloy material, which is a type of limestone for local projects. But when they stand next to glass buildings, modern buildings, they look very mixed. They ignore each other because of the lighting system, and also stone looks heavy, glass looks light. That's one of the main reasons why Baku still looks very mixed. After research of kind of material and buildings, we suggest to use these two material in the same building to make 4-5 story building with stone material which grows to the glass facade building, and use cross areas, parks, terrace, maybe streets for the future. In this way, to make two-level city, classic city from street level and modern from the distance. Lightening just a stone part in night time, we can create a feel of classic city. Experimentally, we use this method by doing new project for Ministry of Education in Baku, and the result was very positive.